From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Oh, it is SHIT Day. So happy it's Thursday. And here we are in the Mile High Shitty, another Democratic-run shithole that I will never return to, called Denver, Colorado.
Well, gives a rat's ass.
All right, who's up for a very salty, action-packed adventure?
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Trump meets Xiaoping in China. Are we going to be okay? Breaking news. Spencer Pratt's run for LA mayor might be over. California gives new meaning to doing hard time. And just when you thought it was safe to throw out your masks, don't you do it. Not yet. Another round of head trauma's on the way. It's one of your favorites, too, called Total Recall. Plus, our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including the Angry American and Mojo's Fucking Funny. That's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Thursday, May 14th. Thank you so much for being here. And let me just say up front, I've met a lot of magnificent people during my journey to San Diego, Phoenix, Tucson, and Tombstone so far. But Denver, not so much. I finally ran into a group of a-holes who love to rain on other people's parade. These are not Mojo Elliott fans. I received several emails with some nasty threats that due to recent events here in the USA, I think I better take them quite seriously. I'd read some of them to you, but I thought, do I really want to give them any recognition whatsoever? That's probably what they want, attention. But just know when you threaten my little buddy that hangs out with me everywhere I go, I have an obligation to protect it. This isn't the first time I've had to deal with this nonsense either. I had to deal with it many times during my radio career when I was an air talent. But, I knew back then if people openly threatened you, they were just being bold. Somebody who really wants to take you out doesn't announce in advance that they're coming. I'm not so sure about that today. Different world. Denver is not the Denver I used to come to for business. It's been about 7 years since I've been here, but it's now a Democratic shithole. And I've decided to finish this show and just get the hell out of here. I'm also canceling Seattle and Portland next week. 2 other Democratic shitholes. I personally really don't want to waste my time and especially the money to support these cities. Do you blame me? Now, Tucson was okay. I like the laid-back feel. But the only thing to do in Tucson is to exist. Okay, it's like a big, small town. But if you like a really laid-back feel, Tombstone's pretty damn cool. I actually like it a lot better than Phoenix, to be honest with you. No offense to Phoenix, because I like the Valley of the Sun, too. Tombstone was your typical tourist attraction. It was fun, very historical. You got to appreciate the fact they try to stay stuck in the 1880s, too. I hung out, went shop to shop, looking at trinkets and trash, bought a couple little Tombstone shot glasses, bounced around to a couple of bars, grabbed a burger, a really good burger, too, by the way, at Big Nose Kate's Saloon, and made my way back to Tucson Monday night and took a Tuesday flight to Denver a couple of days ago. One of the fun things, though, driving back from Tombstone to Tucson is just the open desert. So many beautiful cactus. I love cactus. You know, they look like these great big middle fingers. You're like driving through and just like cactus going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh, it's so fun. I would love to pull one out of the ground and bring home and park in my front yard. I just love cacti. Anyway, I had lunch with a former radio colleague here at my Mystery Hotel in downtown Denver yesterday. And as soon as I wrap up here, like I said, I'm going to vamoose and take my sexy white ass back to Los Angeles where I can disappear on the luscious Santa Monica Mountains. Next stop will be Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'll spend a week watching the Reds play baseball and doing the show on the 1st and 4th. The rest of this month will be from the Mojo Dojo on Malibu Lake. But now maybe you'll understand why I refuse to post photos or do a video cast. I have no problem being heard and not seen. I'm just a little itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny podcaster, man, but you know you're growing when the hounds from hell think they've found you. All right, let's get into the wrap today. All eyes and ears have been on President Trump's trip to China to meet with their leader, Xi Jinping. Now, from what little I've seen, it seems like everything's going just swell. A bunch of billionaires, including Elon Musk, Tim Cook from Apple, and some other billionaires that donate to Democrats while they talk shit about them in public, joined the president. Now, at this point, I'm just waiting to see what the Democrats come up with as their gotcha moment. When they all join together and sing from the same political consultants' directives. Because I'm a stupid Democrat. I can't think independently for myself. I need someone else to tell me what to think and bullshit to tell. Yeah, because I'm a Democrat. Spencer Pratt, who made a name for himself in reality TV years ago, is running for mayor of Los Angeles. You've probably heard about this. Mainly because his home got destroyed a year and a half ago in the Pacific Palisades. And he's been running around kicking Karen Bass, the incumbent and incompetent mayor that's currently sitting in that seat, in mayor's debates. It's been fun to watch. And you should really look these up on YouTube, by the way. Her and the other Democratic candidates have started in with their MAGA fascist rhetoric, and it's just not working. We know here in California and recognize these Democrats are the ones who burned down his home, along with nearly 7,000 others. So the fascist MAGA labels are just bouncing off of him. Yesterday, TMZ, the leftist Hollywood media dipshits, tried to cancel Spencer by saying, "Oh, we found out he wasn't living in the trailer that he had parked where his home burned down that he showed in a TV ad. He's actually living in the swanky Bel Air Hotel." And they think this is going to be the nail in his coffin that seals his fate. Yeah, we're sitting here going, oh, wow. He embellished that trailer in Lake Palisades. Oh, in the Palisades. Don't think he can be mayor. Yeah, let's go back to Bass and that incompetent BBB. You know what? I don't care where Spencer is living. It's a moot point. We have a city that now functions like frickin' Cuba because of Democratic leadership. The fact that we have one man, who's been destroyed personally by these inept mother effers, is willing to go out and try and turn LA around is more than enough for me. I mean, I remember LA when I moved here. I see what it is now. So screw TMZ and their bullshit attack. I prefer Page 6 anyway. As much as I love California, too, the Democrats do make it almost impossible to fully enjoy living here for the dollars that we spend. A story out today says the Democrats approved a purchase of 90,000 iPads for prison inmates so they could stay in touch with their families and use them for educational purposes. Okay, I'll give them credit for the intent. But here's where it gets good. It turns out they're mainly used for watching porn. And now we taxpayers are flipping the bill for this so they can get off in their 6x6s. Yeah. So now when you hear somebody's been sentenced to do hard time in California, they really are doing hard time. How concerned are you with the hantavirus? Have you been washing your masks? Going out hoarding new ones just in case the government shuts us down again like in 2020, right before the midterm so the Democrats can rig it? No, I'm just kidding. I did a little research for you, though, on this and found out, on average, we see 20 to 25 cases of Hanta every year here in the United States. The CDC doesn't keep an ongoing track of cases like they did with COVID because the odds of catching it are very rare. In fact, reports say you're probably far more likely to get injured in a car accident or having a nasty fall at home before you would get this virus. But I think you still have to be prepared. I think you have to have your head on the swivel. You know, CDC and the WHO kind of screwed things up in 2020. So I think you need to be prepared. But if you want to assess the risk in your area, I recommend using ChatGPT. Ask what the hantavirus risk is in your city. I checked my area and it shows very low risk and 0 cases reported. But just remember, paranoia will destroy you. All right, let's see what is lighting the angry Americans' hair on fire these days. This is Tim Kramer on former FBI Director James Comey.
8647. What do you think is going to happen? You think that prosecution's going to stick? Probably not. But just in case it does, how hard should we throw the book at that motherfucker? Well, let's see how hard he would throw the book if the shoe were on the other foot.
The message has to be sent of zero tolerance. We will find everyone and punish everyone who went in there so that no one does it again. We will hunt you to the end of the earth, even for a misdemeanor, and make you pay for that to send that message.
Yeah, let's do what he says. Let's take the smallest crime possible and blow it up into the biggest thing possible and give them 20, 30, 40 years so they never fucking do it again. Let's do what he says. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what I think, Tim. I don't think we'll ever see accountability. Ever. Because in D.C., there was honor among thieves, and I think you're witnessing it right now.
Oh, gee, golly wow, he is a hot mother today. Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the Wrap.
Oh, I think I'll just leave that one alone. Did you see where 74% of NFL fans think the league is rigged? I'd say Roger Goodell, or Roger Goodsmell, has a PR nightmare on his hands. First Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl with that black eye. Now this. I don't know, man. I get the feeling that it's time for Roger Dodger to hit the road. I mean, if I'm the NFL owners, I'm thinking it's time to give Roger Goodell the old heave-ho. What do you think? All right, here's another pisser of mine. There are 9 international games scheduled for this NFL season. That's 9 games. American fans won't get to see their favorite teams play at home because the National Football League is trying to become the World Football League. Hang on a second. Yeah, air's kind of nasty here in Denver for some reason today. All right, but listen to this BS. 49ers and Rams, Ravens and Cowboys, Eagles and Jaguars, Texans and Jaguars. Jacksonville gets screwed twice. Steelers and Saints, Bengals and Falcons, Patriots and Lions, Vikings and 49ers. Those are your international games this year. Okay, it used to be like 1, 2, 3. Now it's 9, really? I mean, sure, hometown fans can watch on TV, but it's not about the damn game. It's about the tailgating, the fanship. Fans look forward to this every week. It becomes part of their life, and you're taking it away. That's what people miss out on. You get maybe 8 or 9 weeks of joy. Jacksonville only gets 7, but 1 week is being stripped from a lot of cities to go international. To me, it's pointless. What are we doing here? But I suggest Americans stop watching and going to games and protest. But they won't. They'll take whatever scraps the NFL will give them. And that is my spin on sports today on The Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, I know you're chomping at the bit for Total Recall. This is where I give you 4 historical events, and you have to put them in the order they happen first to last. Here we go. Hang on. Got to clear the old throat there. Sorry about that. All right, the movie Silence of the Lambs wins an Oscar for Best Picture. Chicago Bears win their only Super Bowl championship. Iraq invades Kuwait, and the Mirage Hotel and Casino opens in Las Vegas. All right, let's do it again. Number 1, the movie Silence of the Lambs wins an Oscar for the Best Picture. Chicago Bears win their only Super Bowl championship, introduce the Super Bowl Shuffle. Iraq invades Kuwait, and the Mirage Hotel and Casino opens in Las Vegas. All right, wrap your mind around that. I'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Oh, you bet your sweet ass it is. Let's take off some of the salt and pepper and do Mojo's Fucking Funny with some classic Rodney Dangerfield.
I tell you, I'm all right now. The Seth was in rough shape, though, you know. Yeah, my wife, she started in again, you know. She keeps throwing up to me. I worked in Las Vegas when broke playing the slot machines. Oh, Vegas, they got slot machines all even in supermarkets. I went into my container of milk, cost me $238. Now, I'll tell you the truth, I had trouble with my wife before we got married, you know. We went together for 6 months, then she gave me the air, told me it was all over. I said to her, what's the matter? Is there somebody else? She looked at me. She said, there must be. I'll tell you what, my wife, I never got no respect at all, you know. We were going steady. She told me, don't talk about sex until we get married. We got married. She told me, now you can talk about it all you want. I'm married 20 years. All I get is smart answers and bad cooking. And my wife's cooking, forget about her cooking. But the other night I left over a hamburger. She used it to scrub the sink. Well, you had to come and get it. My house is try and eat it. The trouble with me is I'm too easygoing, you know. Like this afternoon, I had a bite to eat in a restaurant. I got busy. I had to share a table with someone. He sat down, an old man. Must have been in his 80s. I mean, this guy was old. I asked him to pass me the salt and pepper. He had to make 2 trips. I never get lucky in restaurants. I had dinner last night in a Chinese restaurant. I opened my fortune cookie, and it was a guy's check next to me. I said to him, hey, buddy, I got your check. He said, thanks.
God, I missed that guy.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, what do you say we get the sucky stuff out of the way first? If you were a fan of the 80s film Revenge of the Nerds, you know, the one that made the panty raids popular? Actor Donald Gibb, who played the role of Ogre, has died at the age of 71. And in honor of Ogre, I am wearing a pair of ladies' panties on my head right now that I got from the cleaning lady. As far as you know. The sequel series to Yellowstone is here. Dutton Ranch, centered around Rip and Beth, is being touted as a big winner. It makes its debut on Paramount Network tomorrow night, Friday night. Season 1 will feature only 9 weekly episodes. Why not 10? Why not 10? It's a great number. They're only going to give us 9 episodes that'll keep you busy until the 4th of July weekend. Yeah, nobody wanted to work after the 4th. That's what it was. But I can tell you personally, I'm looking forward to seeing all the big-breasted women at my gym wearing their "Don't Make Me Go Beth Dutton on Your Ass" cut-off T-shirts. That'll be fun. The first ever halftime show at the FIFA World Cup will be headlined by Madonna. 68-year-old Madonna is going to be up there. Look at my coochie. Shakira will be singing about her coochie, and K-popers BTS. So how do you feel about that lineup, huh? Are you fired up to watch some soccer now? Yeah, I didn't think so. Imagine being on a flight to Hawaii with your wife and kids only to find out your ex-wife from 20 years ago was seated nearby. That's what happened to Nick Lachey and his family, who were heading to the islands for a little family vacay when Jessica Simpson showed up in the cockpit. And that's who Nick divorced in 2006. They appeared on the same reality TV show. Remember that? From 2003, 2006, it got canceled and Nick split the relationship. Nick says, though, that everyone said their hellos. Everybody was very hospitable. But you know, during the flight, Nick was thinking, damn, I used to who's your daddy that ass for hours. And you know, his wife Vanessa was thinking, he better not be thinking about doing that who's your daddy with that bimbo. And Jessica was probably sitting back in her seat going, God, I can't believe I've ripped one outrageous fart on reality TV.
That's just about enough of that.
And that is a reality slice of celebrity cheese for you.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
Can you send your questions, comments, and observations to me? Yeah, you could. But I prefer you send them to Fleabag at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. And anything goes. The more outrageous and salacious, the better. And it's impossible to offend me. Not impossible to threaten me, but it's impossible to offend me. I'll make damn sure it's impossible to find me, too. All right, I asked Rat's Ass Podcast listeners a couple of podcasts ago to send me an email telling me if they still listen to AM/FM radio anymore. And Fleabag tallied up the stats and said it turns out 62% of you say you still listen to the radio at least once a day. 22% said once a week, and 16% said not at all. That's encouraging to hear, by the way. My perception coming out of L.A. is that very, very few people listen to AM/FM radio anymore. I know. I hear you now. Get the hell out of California and return to the United States, right? Marilee H., Camden, New Jersey, said, I've been following your daily diary on Facebook about your travels, and you seem to be having a good time. Well, it was until I got to Denver. I want to thank you for posting the photos from Tombstone. I have always wanted to see it from a tourist point of view. Well, it was my pleasure, Marilee. Here's the thing, though, about Tombstone. A lot of people see the movie Tombstone and don't realize it was actually filmed just outside of Tucson. It wasn't actually filmed in Tucson. A lot of the older movies featuring Tombstone were actually filmed at Paramount Ranch, which isn't too far from my dojo. That's where a lot of that was filmed. I can't recall, and I didn't ask, and I probably should have. I'll try to find this bit of research out for you. But I don't think there's ever been a movie filmed in Tombstone, per se. And that's why I wanted to take the pictures and put them up, because you get to see the real Tombstone that way. A lot of people aren't going to travel to Tombstone. Okay, you're going to be there for an hour and be like, okay, can we go now? not a whole lot to look at there, which you'll see in the pictures. But, you do have to respect the fact, like I said before, they keep it set in the 1880s. And it's a very cool place to see. If you just happen to be in the area, you go to Tucson for some reason, make the drive. It's about an hour and a half. All right, Busby P., Daytona Beach, Florida, said, settle this debate. Where do people consider their hometown? Where they were born or where they graduated from? Well, most people are born and graduate from the same place. In fact, studies have shown most people live within 50 miles of where they grew up. So hometowns are hometowns. But there are people who do move around during the early years. And if this is the case, I think it comes down to where you feel the biggest attachment. Where did you come into your own? I think, believe it or not, for most people, it's probably the first place they got laid. Mike W., Kenosha, Wisconsin. Just started seeing this girl a few weeks ago and had sex for the first time last weekend. Well, that deserves a standing ovation. Congratulations. Yeah, a little pop goes the weasel. All right, the problem is, he said, I don't think she's ever shaved her kitty before, and I wasn't too fond of it. How do I go about getting her to make the cut without offending her? God, the nerve of this guy. He's getting laid and he's complaining about it. All right, Mikey, listen close. Come close to me. A little bit closer. In the throes of passion, at the point she starts screaming, give it to me now for the love of Christ. You stop and you give her two options. You show her the Weed Whacker or the Phillips Norelco Bikini Genie, and you ask her which one she prefers. That's right. You do it, Playboy. All right, Jackson K., Winchester, Virginia. And we have a ghost story.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, we get so many of these emails. I could do a whole podcast on nothing but ghosting. Justin says, try this one on for size. 9 years in an extramarital affair with a woman I treated extremely well. We lived about 50 miles apart, and suddenly she ghosts me. No returned calls, emails, texts for the past 3 months. He says, I'm not one to chase, but do you think I should? I mean, this has been downright cruel. Well, I would say, obviously, she's dealing with something beyond what she's willing or capable of telling you about. So I would say if you've been kind in trying to reach out to her, maybe, small chance, that maybe someday she'll reach out and explain. But if you've been an ass, you can completely forget about it. And I know you feel like you want and deserve answers, but chasing won't change anything. Does nothing. Just be happy for what you had. Go enjoy your life. There's an old saying that goes, if you want to get over somebody, get under somebody. Other than that, I would allow for time and space to work. It's mojo.
Oh, you're going straight to hell for that one.
Rat's Ass Podcast.
Warm it up for me, baby. The name of this game is Total Recall. I gave you 4 historical events to put in order. They happen starting first to last. Let's review these, shall we? The movie Silence of the Lambs wins an Oscar for Best Picture. The Chicago Bears win their only Super Bowl championship. Iraq invades Kuwait, and the Mirage Hotel and Casino opens in Las Vegas. All right, did you figure it out for yourselves? If you said the Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl, the Mirage opens, Iraq invades Kuwait, and Silence of the Lambs wins the Oscar with some fava beans? Correctamundo.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I'm going to act like a hot ass and scoot. I am headed back to L.A. where I can hide surrounded by guns and ammo. You can tell I'm just itching to get the hell out of Denver, can't you? All right, but first, is this real or riffraff? Did you know there is a condition called false awakening where you think you're awake in your dream, but in reality you're still asleep? Alexa, is this real or is it riffraff?
I bet you wish you were experiencing a false awakening, don't you?
Oh, don't start with me, Alexa. Is it real or is it riffraff?
I am starting with you. Don't be such a wimp and let these scoundrels ruin your little tour.
What is the name of my tour called?
Have a good time, but get out alive.
What is it?
Have a good time, but get out alive.
Tell me one more time.
Have a good time, but get out alive.
So what part of get out alive don't you understand?
Okay, fine. Also, false awakening is real weenie boy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go again. Enjoy your muzzle and your weekend, Alexa. Shout out to new Rat Nation members Adam Gladwell of Cumberland, Maryland, Steve McDowell, Zanesville, Ohio, Brenda Bowen of Lincoln, Nebraska, and Chris Corman in San Dimas, California, and around the world in Melbourne, Australia, Sonderborg, Denmark, and Paris, France. Welcome to the show.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go to ratsasspodcast.com to visit our hub and listen to previous episodes. Read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality. Watch Rat's Ass Rock TV. Join the mischief at Rat Nation to play the Ponzi scheme and connect with us on the socials. We'll do this again on Monday, May 18th from home. Take care of each other. And have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast in association with the Oz Podcast Group.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.